Okay, we're gonna do an oil change on a Kubota L3902. I've already got the brush guard pulled out, which has this hook right here. You pull out, tip it back. There is a hood release spring right here. Pull that, and with this model, it auto opens up. So we have access here. Now getting down here, it's a little bit different because this is a split pan or a dual pan. And you can see we've got a reservoir on this side and on that side. So you got to drain the right side over here, and the left side has its own plug there. And I just checked, and a 19 millimeter was pretty snug. So got a pan down here. I'm gonna open up the right side first. So I'll do that real quick. Okay, we broke that loose with a 19 millimeter. Come up here real quick, open the fill cap here so we can get a lot better flow through. Set that down there. Come down here real quick again, and we will take that out. There's gonna be a gasket in there, probably. Not sure what kind yet, brass or something. But you don't wanna lose it, so be ready for when this shoots out. Anytime now. Oh. We got it. Was that exciting or something for you? Yeah. Okay.
Whoa, look at all that oil.
Yeah.
How much it is. It's such
well, that's nothing.
steam.
That's nothing. Anyways, we'll let this finish here. Then we'll get the other side. You see how much faster it comes out if you take that drain cap off from the top. It's always silly when I see people not do that and just globs out as air has to go back in. Okay, that's starting to slow down here, so we'll look right here at this washer. This is a copper washer, and that still looks perfectly fine. So we're just going to reuse it. When you tighten this back in there, just don't wrench it in so hard that you ruin this washer, and you can reuse them a few times. So anyways, we'll just reuse that. We cleaned it off with a rag, set it down right there. Okay, we're down to just some slow drips now. So I cleaned that surface off, and I'll screw that back in, and we can get to the other side. Once I set this in there and tighten it up a little bit. Moving on. Okay, now we're on the left side of the machine, and the drain plug's right here. I just bumped it loose real quick. So we'll do the same thing over here. You can see that copper washer. Just make sure you keep that on there. Try not to drop it all. Here it comes. Alright, so now we're getting the left side here. Now we'll let that finish dripping. Okay, now the left side is down to just the slow drips here. I wiped that surface off, cleaned off the bolt and the washer here. Try to get it back in there without dropping it. Not my kind of fishing, if you know what I mean. Okay, and now I'll just give that a little tighten there, and then we'll go to the oil filter. Okay, so now I'll step back so you can see right there. There's the oil filter. This is still the one from the factory. It's got that gray Kubota paint on it. They put it on and paint the whole thing. So these first ones are typically known to be pretty hard to get off. Either they put them on super tight or the paint dries or something. So we'll see what the heck kind of strength I got here to do this, if I can film it too. Okay, looks like this one isn't too bad. I've had to take some of these things and beat the crap out of them to get them off, or I'm just that strong. One or the other. Anyway, so you can see this is the filter. It's got oil in it. it's going to run down into the pan here, but it's going to run on this axle here. So hopefully you can keep it all here and it'll kind of just run off in the pan. But I have this old rag here, so I'll take it off and try not to drop it and tip it back. And I got it. Okay, perfect. Limited mess. All right, so I'll just set this down. And you can just see it's just trickling down a little bit. I'll go get the new filter. All right, that's about done dripping here, so I'll just make sure that this seal is going to be clean with a clean rag, and then go get the new filter. I'll open that up. This is the part number for the oil filter, the engine oil filter for a Kubota L3902. Pause that if you need it. Get a little oil, put it on the seal here, wipe the fingers off, and put this new one on. Line it up, get the threads on there easy. Alright, so then once you get it to touch, clean your hand off a little bit. Once you get it to touch, then I like to do, mark your thumb and do about, okay, that's a quarter. That's a half. Got oil in my hands. Well, all I can get is a half. I usually like to go a little bit more than that. All right, oil hands. I'm just gonna go a touch more. There, that's it. Okay, so that was over half, about 3/4 of a turn, and now that's seated on there well. I got both the drain plugs back in on both sides, and then now we need to get a funnel into the oil fill here and get our 7 quarts. Let's check the manual. Okay, engine crankcase with filter takes 7.1 quarts, and if we're above 77 degrees and we work below 14 degrees, which we do here, the summers don't get super hot, but we can see the 90s sometimes, and the winters do get close to 0 sometimes. So I'm sticking with 10W30. I use it in my other tractors, and that seems to work well enough. So that's what we're using. 7.1 quarts of Kubota 10W30 for diesel engines. Don't forget that part. Okay, so I have gallon jugs of oil here. There's 4 quarts in a gallon. We need to get 7.1 quarts back in the oil fill. I have a longer funnel here, and rather than waste your time making me watch pour oil, I'm just going to pour it in this funnel slowly, and I'll let you know when I'm done. Okay, we got about 7.1 in there. I'm going to let that sit. You can see it right there on the mark there. I'm going to let that sit in there, and we'll check it in a little bit, but probably pretty good. So for now, I cleaned this cap off, wiped it down, and I will gently, come on, thread that back in there, because it's plastic, gotta be careful. There we go. Okay, so filter's on, both the plugs are back in, and we got the fill cap back in, and we'll go check the dipstick a little bit. Okay, I let it set for a little bit, checked it, and it was a little above the fill line there. So I let some out, ran it, let it sit again for a while, and all right, now you can see where we're at. Good enough. That's pretty perfect right there. So that ought to do it. Now, after you're done, just check it for leaks over the next couple days and make sure you're all tight, and you should be all set.